If shitting your pants was a martial art, I would be a goddamn ninja. Some of you may ask yourselves, hey Corey, why do you feel the need to talk about this? And the brute and honest truth is that this is my coping mechanism. The moments following self-defecation are a traumatizing event on par with watching your dog get hit by a car. Nobody in the history of the universe has ever shit themselves and been like, whatever. You cannot simply shrug it off. You know that feeling when you step into a really cold shower and the initial shock kind of snaps you into the present moment? The moments following a shart are kind of the same difference. There are no thoughts, just me and my shitty undergarments. It is an incredibly sobering realization. So sobering, in fact, that if I was borderline blackout drunk and I let one slip, I would be able to walk a tightrope afterwards. I'm sure by now it's obvious that I have a lot on my chest, so let me tell you a few stories. This first one goes all the way back to 2010, on the day of my 5th grade graduation. I'm riding the bus to school, as I did every day, and the bus pulls into the circle. I go to get off the bus, and this could be a false memory of mine, but I remember school buses having unusually tall steps. This could have been because I was much shorter at the time, but regardless, giddy with excitement, I jump off the bottom step. After some hang time, I make first contact with the ground. Upon first impact, my bowels buckle and collapse, and I shit myself. This was a universe-altering moment for me, so much so that I remember the faces of almost every individual around me. The sense of defeat was overwhelming. It felt like I had just cost my team the big game, but in this sense, the team is my underwear, and the game is to not shit myself. So, with a pair of shitty britches, I waddle to the bathroom like a penguin with a broomstick up its ass, and I attempt to clean myself up. But I was mudded, to put it lightly. I did what I could, but there was no way I was coming back from this. I figure, okay, maybe I can ride this out. So I walk to my classroom, and as I take a seat, it sounded like I hammer-fisted a bowl of mac and cheese. And that was the last straw. I waddled down to the office, called my mom, and she came and picked me up for the day. So yeah, that shit sucked. But hey, it gets worse. The following year, I embarked on the trip of a lifetime, known as 6th grade camp. This is where you go to camp for a week, in the 6th grade. Hence the name. This trip took place during a point in my life where I was more of a picky eater than I can even put into words. And this ultimately proved to be detrimental in the long run. The only thing I ate the whole week was mashed potatoes, hot sauce, and croutons. Nothing else. And then on top of this, I did not shit the entire time. So for 7 days, I let a deadly combination of Tabasco, potatoes, and croutons to build up inside me. And then on the bus ride home, my composure began to slip. I had the most painful stomach cramps I could ever imagine. It seriously felt like a tree was growing inside me. I would consider myself a pretty level-headed person, but I remember in that moment thinking, I would rather be dead than feeling the way that I am right now. The bus ride was less than an hour, and it felt like it took 8 fucking days. We get back to my middle school, and I've somehow managed to not blow a hole out the back of my pants at this point, but I was pushing it. I get off the bus, and I power walk straight past my mom, who I haven't seen in a week, straight to the bathrooms. As I'm no more than 10 feet from the bathroom, I can feel my shit slipping with each step, and at this point, I'm pretty confident that I messed myself. I infiltrate the bathroom, plop my ass on that toilet seat, and release the Kraken. The conflicting senses of pure agony and relief were so confusing and orgasmic, it damn near led me to develop a pain fetish. On one end, it felt like I had just finished birthing elephant triplets, while on the other end, it felt like someone had just sprayed my asshole with bear mace. Once I was able to see straight again, I looked down, and what do I see? None other than clean underwear. So I'm pretty sure I did shit myself, but it never managed to breach to my underwear. It just got sloshed around my cheeks a little. And that was story number 2. And that leads us to our final story, which takes place the following year in 7th grade during drum lessons. I took drum lessons for many years, and the man who taught me the drums loved pizza, specifically Little Caesars, and so did I. But you know who didn't love Little Caesars? My bowels. Every once in a while before one of my drum lessons, I would bring him a hot and ready, and him and I, we would shoot the shit, play some drums, and enjoy some cheap pizza. We get to a point where there's about 10 to 15 minutes left in the lesson, and I feel a fart coming on, and I ultimately decide I'm going to let this one ease out. I loosened my asshole the most minimal amount possible, and before I can even think about it, Hershey squirts. My eyes opened wider than the Amazon River. Once the initial shock wore off, I thought to myself, I probably did something to deserve this. On top of that, I still had to shit violently. My stomach felt like a washing machine in a wash cycle. And to pile on top of that, no pun intended, we were practicing something called double bass drumming, which involves vigorous movement of the legs. So instead of the shit being nestled in one area, as I hoped it would be, it was ultimately being spread around like a star in supernova. And yeah, I finished off the lesson more uncomfortable than I probably have ever been, and my mom drove me to the Kroger across the street afterwards where I fucking murdered their toilet and clogged it. I'd like to note real quick as well that there was only one stall in this bathroom. So afterwards, I'll never forget, I was washing my hands and someone else walks into the bathroom, into the stall, and they're like, "Man, who did this?" I didn't say anything to them, but it was me. And yeah, that is 3 of my most horrific shit stories that I can think of. I appreciate you listening if you made it this far. This is like therapy to me. If any more traumatic events that have happened throughout my lifetime pop into my head, I will definitely vent them to my camera. Thank you for watching.